Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It is another super exciting mail day here because the Relative Tarot by Carrie Paris has arrived completely unexpectedly. I thought this deck wasn't being released until the beginning of November, but I had pre-ordered it and I was like, okay, well, it'll get here when it gets here. And it got here this evening, which is kind of crazy. So I thought we could go ahead and do a little walkthrough and take a look at it. This is a deck that was originally an independently produced deck, an indie deck, and it was picked up by a publisher. And so now it's been released in a mass market edition. I did not get the indie edition. I was not lucky enough to get in on that one. So I'm really happy to have this copy because I've seen the deck and it's amazing. So first of all, it comes in a nice hard box. It's, you know, bigger than I usually prefer, but it does have a guidebook inside. So I also like that the spine kind of looks like the spine of a book. So, you know, if you sit it on your bookshelf with all your books, it, you know, looks like it would kind of blend right in and look pretty cool. It has a magnetic closure, and inside we have a guidebook and the deck. Now, I have not looked at this yet. I did take the plastic off, but I have not, you know, looked at the cards yet. So I'm looking forward to doing that together here. So let's take a look at the guidebook at the end. I'm going to set that aside and let's start by taking a look through the cards. If you hear snoring, that's my dog. She's sitting beside me and she snores super loud. This deck has beautiful gold gilded edges. And it has a fairly glossy cardstock. I think you can probably see in the light as I'm turning it. It's definitely fairly glossy. All right. Let's go ahead and have a look through. I'll have to go this way, I think. Okay. So I guess we're starting with the Magician. I'm assuming that means the Fool is at the end. These cards are so beautiful, and I can't even begin to tell you how thrilled I am that this deck came early, because this seems like such an amazing deck to use for ancestor work. And since we are currently in October and the veil is thinning and continuing to get thinner, this seems like, you know, the perfect time to use a deck like this. So there are three lovers cards to choose from. Which is always kind of nice. I am so excited. I do a lot of ancestor work. These are a little sticky together. That happens sometimes with gilding, but it's not really a problem. It just kind of... Okay, so we've got Justice here in the 8th spot instead of... my mind just went blank. Instead of, hang on. Oh, I stand corrected. You have a choice. That's very interesting. You could do either way. So I assume we'll have, let's go further back. The Hermit, beautiful. The Wheel. Okay, so here, okay, perfect. So here we have another set of Strength and Justice in the 11 position. So you can decide, you know, how you want to set up your deck and your numbering. That is very cool. I did not know it was like that, and I think that's really fantastic. But yeah, I do a lot of ancestor work all the time, you know, kind of in general, but especially in October. So I am so thrilled that this arrived early because it's going to fit right in with my ancestor workings and readings and such. So we have the world, gorgeous, and yes, okay, so there's the Fool. Wonderful. All right. I love the way that the Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork is, you know, in with the sort of a more modern style with the collage, but with these really beautiful vintage photos. This is a really fun and I think really interesting take and very creative deck. That is an amazing 10 of Cups. How beautiful. I love that. I love that. That's fantastic. That's a really beautiful 2 of Wands also. These cards are just, I mean, this is, I can't say enough good things about the beautiful artwork of this deck. And I love how it represents, you know, many people, many cultures. It has the traditional, the nod to the traditional Rider-Waite in here. I just think that it's, I really regret not getting in on this when it was, you know, on an indie version of this deck. But I am so happy that this was picked up and is available this way. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to trim this deck. The borders don't bother me so much on this because they're not like the really bright, stark white. So I might leave them on. I might take them off. I would lose the gilding if I take them off. I mean, it is nice, but I would be okay with that. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. Every time I show a deck that I've trimmed, maybe not every time, but sometimes when I show a deck that's trimmed, I get some very interesting comments. People get really mad. Some of y'all get real mad that somebody would trim their deck down. Like, it's not that serious, y'all. It's gonna be okay. I've gotten some rather aggressive comments about that, but anyway. Yeah, I can tell that I'm gonna really enjoy working with this one. This is definitely gonna be a deck that I use a lot for my ancestor work. The gilding comes off. I'm not sure if that's showing up, but I am now sparkly, which is, you know, fine by me. Fantastic. That's amazing. Perfect. Queen of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. That's a great King of Pentacles too. Whoops. Still a little bit of sticking. Since I hadn't really gone through these ahead of time there. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful Eight of Swords. Oh, that is truly lovely. All right, and now we're to the King of Swords and the end of the deck. Let's see how things. Yeah, this is the gilding that's. I mean, it's gold, but it's just slightly glittery, and like I said, I'm not sure if that's picking up on the camera, but now I sparkle. So, all right, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Let's give it a try. Well, it's not great. Yeah, so these might loosen up a little bit. They are bendable. They are not so stiff that they don't bend, but whether it's because of the gilding or whether it's because they haven't been completely broken in, they are very clumpy if you try to rifle shuffle them. You know, it's not the end of the world. That is my preferred method, but, you know, I can get away with an overhand. And these, you know, they might be okay. In fact, I think they're getting better as I go. So let's see how they are on an overhand for people who prefer that. I'm like the world's worst overhand shuffler. I swear, I don't know why. It is so difficult for me. I don't know. Anyway. They're fine on an overhand. They don't really feel like they're sticking together too much. You know, I mean, maybe a little bit, but me not being the overhand expert, I would say it's okay. So yeah, I don't want to make this a, you know, super long video. I wasn't planning to make a video, which is why my nails look like an absolute wreck. This was not my intention, but I really enjoy doing kind of like little walkthroughs and first looks, and I wanted to do that, and the deck came in the door, so I figured I would go ahead and show it off in case anyone's on the fence with this one. I just don't think that I just don't think I can't think of a more perfect deck for ancestor work than this one. There's something about the kind of vintage photos and just the feel of the deck that just seems like, I don't know, it just seems really conducive to that. So thank you very much for coming by my channel. I will be doing readings with this on my Instagram in the coming days and weeks. So if you want to see some more, please pop by, say hello. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And I hope you have a fantastic day.